Ever wondered why Olympic swimmers slap themselves before a race? If you've been observing the swimming events at the Paris 2024 Olympics, you may have noticed this fascinating ritual. Just before they dive into the pool, many swimmers vigorously slap certain parts of their bodies. It's not a random act of frustration or a quirky habit. It's a deliberate and calculated part of their pre-race routine. The specifics of this slapping ritual vary from swimmer to swimmer. Some target their legs, others their chest, and some focus on their arms. The technique is also a matter of personal preference. Some swimmers use an open hand, while others prefer a closed fist. But the most commonly targeted areas are the pectorals, shoulders, biceps, triceps, and legs. Why? These muscles play a crucial role in their performance and are the easiest to slap. But this ritual isn't just about the physical act of slapping. There's a certain rhythm to it, a method to what might seem like madness. As Matt Barbini, USA Swimming's Director of Performance, explained in 2021, they consider it part of their warm-up or activation, just making sure that there's sort of maximal blood flow going to those parts of the body before you swim. Indeed, the effects of this pre-race slapping are visible to the naked eye. Swimmers often get red and splotchy from all that slapping, a sign of increased blood flow to these regions. But while warming up is undeniably important before intense exercise, it's worth noting that there's hardly any scientific evidence suggesting that slapping gives swimmers a physiological edge over those who don't partake in this ritual. So, why do they do it? What's the reason behind this peculiar ritual? Is it more than just a physical warm-up? Or perhaps it's a psychological tool, a way to calm their nerves or intimidate their opponents. Or maybe it's a bit of both. To understand this better, let's dive in. One popular explanation for the slapping ritual is physiological. This theory revolves around the concept of increasing blood flow to the specific areas that are slapped. It's a sight that can be seen with the naked eye. The skin of the swimmers often turns red and splotchy from all the slapping, a clear indication of blood rushing to the surface. Now you might be wondering, why exactly do they need to increase blood flow? Well, the answer lies within the demands of the sport itself. Swimming is an intense physical activity that requires every muscle in the body to work in unison. And for muscles to perform optimally, they need an abundant supply of oxygen and nutrients, which are delivered by the blood. Matt Barbini, USA Swimming's Director of Performance, shed some light on this practice. He stated that the swimmers consider it a part of their warm-up or activation routine. They ensure that there is maximal blood flow going to those parts of the body that are about to be put to the test in the water. The areas they target, such as the pectorals, shoulders, biceps, triceps, and legs, play crucial roles in their performance. These swimmers have a systematic approach. They often start with the upper body, focusing on the muscles that are not just vital for their performance, but also easily accessible for a good slap. Then, they move on to the legs, which provide the powerful kick needed to propel them through the water. It's an intriguing practice, isn't it? But here's the twist. While the theory of increasing blood flow to enhance performance makes sense in theory, there isn't a wealth of scientific evidence to back it up. The physiological benefits of this slapping ritual, while widely accepted among swimmers, are yet to be proven conclusively in the realm of sports science. However, there's not a wealth of scientific evidence to back up the physiological benefits of this practice. So while the slapping might be a pre-race ritual for some, its actual impact on performance remains a topic for further investigation. While the physiological benefits of slapping might be debatable, the psychological advantages are much more recognized. Long before the starting whistle, the nerves start to build. The moments before a race, when swimmers line up behind their blocks, can feel intense. The anticipation, the adrenaline, the quiet before the storm, it's a pressure cooker of emotions. And in these moments, having a routine, a procedure to follow, can be a saving grace. Imagine standing there, the world watching, your heart pounding in your chest. It's not hard to see how one could get lost in the nerves. But then, you start your routine. You go up your left arm, then your right arm, across your chest and onto your legs. Each slap acting as a grounding force, a reminder to stay present, to focus. As Matt Barbini, the director of performance for USA Swimming, explained, this practice is not just about the physical, it's about the mental. Having a procedure and a routine that you go through during that time is really helpful mentally, so you're not just standing there letting the nerves get to you, he said. Anything that sort of kills those in-between moments before the race starts, I think, helps keep athletes calm. Each slap, each jolt of sensation acts as a psychological anchor, grounding these athletes in the present moment, keeping the nerves at bay and maintaining focus. It's not just about waking up the muscles, but also about waking up the mind, preparing it for the task at hand. So, while the science behind the physical benefits of slapping may still be up for debate, the psychological benefits are more universally recognized. It's a ritual, a tradition, a part of the pre-race routine that serves to both physically and mentally prepare these athletes for the intense competition that awaits them. But there could be another psychological reason behind the slapping ritual. Could swimmers be slapping themselves to intimidate their opponents? Now, here's an interesting theory proposed by Athlete Approved. They suggest that this slapping ritual might not just be about physical warm-up or psychological comfort. It could also be a strategic move, a bit of gamesmanship, if you will. Imagine you're on the pool deck, nerves already on edge, and you see your competitor systematically slapping themselves, their muscles rippling, their focus unwavering. It's a display of confidence, a show of strength, and it could potentially unnerve an opponent. It's like a swimmer's version of a haka, that traditional Maori war dance used by New Zealand's rugby team to challenge their adversaries. So while the scientific evidence may not entirely back up the physiological benefits of this pre-race ritual, its psychological effects, whether on the swimmer themselves or their opponents, cannot be dismissed. Whether it's for physiological reasons, psychological comfort, or a bit of gamesmanship, the swimmer's slapping ritual is a fascinating part of the sports culture.